The Hicks continue with their crack and egg bit, but callers are bugging them for unrelated shit. So in a real shocker, the Hicks turn to soccer, using red and yellow cards to eliminate tits.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday. That means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one will give you a red card for being a tit. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and the Vermilion Victor. And joining us this week is the man from Minnesota, he of the majestic beard and cool-ass helmet. Please join me in making some noise for Chad.
Wondrous!
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh
Wait!
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I regret nothing!
Welcome back to the Produce Stand, Chad.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always love to
Hear your
hop on.
excitement, buddy.
It's been a long week, all right?
Yeah, he's already done a podcast this week, and now he's doing this one with us. I mean, you're now basically a regular, Chad, so we don't need to get to know you. We'll just skip right into the...
How are you
They can
now?
listen to the other two.
Yeah,
How are you now?
there we go. The lineup tonight will be Victor, Matt, Tanya, Al, Chad. So, Victor, how was your week?
Yeah, it was a pretty good week. Time just flying by. I lose track that was the football game.
Mhm.
What are we calling? Are we calling soccer or football? I don't know.
It's soccer.
All right, was that
And
soccer
this is from
game?
this is from a soccer fan, so
Yeah.
we can
American soccer fan.
Yeah,
well, MLS.
So that game with Italy and England, that was just this weekend, wasn't it? Or was it?
Yeah, it was
Yes, it
Sunday.
was.
It was
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Like that's the thing. My memory just shot. Anyway, so that was fun. I watched that with William, and that was it's a funny way to end a game, right?
Mm.
It's always like an interesting conversation afterwards. Is that the right way to end a game? But regardless, it was a very exciting finish, right? Because England was up, and you thought for sure they're going to win because in soccer, it's the shooter has the advantage,
Yeah.
because the goalie's basically guessing
Mhm.
each time. But oh my goodness, that Italian goalie, what's his name? Gianluigi.
Luigi.
He was Gianluigi, yeah.
Brother of
Gianluigi.
Mario.
It's-
What?
It starts with a D. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I
be
don't know how to
careful.
pronounce
Yeah.
it.
Profiling.
I know, right? Yeah. What the
be
hell?
Be careful. So anyway, so he was unbelievable. He
Yeah.
he made 3 saves in a row to basically win that match.
That's crazy.
So that was a pretty exciting. And it's really nice for our Sleep fans because having England not win a championship, any meaningful championship in 50 years,
Mhm.
is right up there with us not winning a Stanley Cup
Yeah.
in 67. So
Yeah, we can relate.
I
for sure.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get to Matt, Chad, did you watch any of the game or the tournament? Were you even interested?
Of course I did.
Well, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you're an MLS fan, but
I'm a soccer fan. I've watched all of it.
Yeah.
I watched pretty much all of it. Not all.
Mhm.
When I was working, I couldn't watch any of the games, but I watched every one I could.
Did you have a favorite in the series?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Who are you rooting for?
yeah.
Where are your roots?
I was rooting for Finland, my home country.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So in Germany,
Mhm.
and so I'm Finnish German. So I was like,
Wow.
we'll go with these two teams, and then one got knocked out right away, and the other one made it a little bit in the ways.
Yeah,
A little bit further.
I'm a Portugal
A little bit
fan.
further.
I'm a Portugal
I'm-
fan, so I can commiserate.
Yeah, I'm happy to say I was rooting for Italy from the start, since I lived there for a year, and I was there when they won the World Cup in '82 in Germany. So that was exciting. So yeah, so I was very, very excited that happened, and so it was fun. And then the other thing is we saw the movie.
Jaws.
War of Tomorrow. I don't know, some stupid movie that came out on Amazon with Chris Pratt. Chris-
yeah. I don't know what the name,
One
but
of the-
yeah, I've seen it on and
Yeah. Anyway, it was good. It was very tropey, you know.
Your
but-
lead up
but
didn't sound like you were going to say it was good. Like some stupid movie on Amazon. It's fucking Chris Pratt.
Because you know it was very kind of cookie cutter style movie. But I mean, there was a few parts that were, you know, typically when a movie starts, you expect the aliens to attack, and that's not. And you know, I'm not going to give it away in case you want to watch it. But you know, it's a bit of a different spin on it.
so the aliens win.
Yeah, my biggest issue. I didn't say that. My biggest issue with the movie is just it wasn't far enough in the future for us to believe that the technology that
Gotcha.
existed.
Sure.
It's hard. Like I know you're supposed to take your brain out, put it on a shelf, and just enjoy the movie. But at the same time, there has to be something there, and it was just not far enough. Like we're still so infantile in our understanding of technology in the grand scheme of things. I don't believe that. I just don't believe in that in our lifetime anything dramatic would happen.
So Victor,
anyway,
if you were to give this movie an MVP, what would it be? Would it be like the camouflage worn by the soldiers or something? What
I think because I don't want to spoil the movie, it's too early for me to give out the MVP.
All right.
For that
Well,
one.
we're waiting on pins and needles.
And the final thing I'll say is I went into the office for the first time since March Madness of last year.
That's crazy.
And it was eerie because when I walked into my office, like my actual office, nothing was moved. Everything was it's like it was paused. I had like packaged cookies. There was a weird,
fucking weird, right?
Yeah. There was like all my papers, like everything was exactly the way I left it. I'm thinking, didn't the cleaners come in here and clean it? But there was no dust anywhere. So I don't know.
Dusted around your cookies and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Didn't throw out the cookies though.
Yeah.
No, there was nothing. Well, they're not allowed. It's your stuff. So I'm just thankfully there wasn't anything perishable there. But yeah, it was just very eerie.
That's like after a year and 3 months of not going in, you went. Yeah, I mean, I had the same thing after I think I went in after we were locked down or working from home for 3 or 4 months, and even that was just strange because no one knew when they left that Friday that they weren't coming back into the office. So there's like jackets still hung over chairs. There were like you said, there were like cookies.
It's like the zombie movies, right? Like all the people disappear, but the stuff, the coffee's still there.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah, it was crazy.
And the calendars are still on the same date. Like nothing's moved.
It was weird.
Anyway, I cleaned out my office as if I'm never, ever, ever in my life going to go back there again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I will. I think that's it. I think that was the last time I've ever stepped into that building. So that's I cleaned it out. I went home and I said, all right, that's it. That'll do.
Well, I'm going to be kind of homeless because I still have my desk on the 11th floor for my old team, but my new team is on the 7th floor. But I don't have a new desk yet, so I'm like when I do go into the office, just still go every once in a while. I'm like I'm homeless. I don't know where I should go. Yeah. Matt, how was your week?
Sit next to Matt.
I did the other day actually when I went in. He was in. We spent a pleasant day together.
It's
actually.
true. It was great. It was wunderbar.
No pictures though. So
did you hold hands and skip down the hallway?
I never posted them. I forgot to post them. I will. Yeah. We went for a walk in the park and we didn't hold hands.
It was a nice dinner date.
It was lovely.
See, I would have taken it in another direction.
Skipping.
I know, right?
Actually, we almost found ourselves on the swings. That's
we were on a park bench. So anyway, it was
next time you go in, you have to take Nerf guns and just make it a full out Nerf war. That's what I would do.
So romantic. So romantic between you two.
I would be like,
I'll post
no
pictures.
one's here.
So
HR's not around.
It was part of a photo shoot or actually a video. Was it a video shoot or a photo shoot?
It was a
video shoot for something that's happening called Light Bulb Day. And Matt and I went in. We volunteered to be in this video. So there was a lot of like video shots of us walking down the halls and in the office and then out in the park and sitting on the bench. And there's even a corny shot of Matt sitting on a rock with the.
It's terrible. I'm actually embarrassed thinking back to him. Like when they revealed that, I'm like, that looked really bad.
Yeah. So
the swings would have been more appropriate.
Yeah. We were joking around. Hey, let's do one where I'm on a swing and Matt's pushing me or something.
Wait. Isn't Light Bulb Day supposed to be all about innovation?
Yeah.
And that's what you guys came up with.
No, it wasn't us
the
though.
Thinking Rock, thinking,
Victor,
thinking.
Don't be surprised, but we were just the talent in this one. We had nothing to do with production here. We were just doing what we were told.
Yes. All right.
It's a rare occasion, but it happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you do what you're being told now and actually tell us how your week went?
Yeah.
I was crying, and then that was rude, Victor.
Wow. Claws out already.
Wow. All right. It's gonna be a fun night. I say. I can't. So glad I came, guys.
Becoming a confrontation.
All right.
My week, my, it's pretty much on tone. But I got Disney Plus, so that was fun.
Ooh, congratulations! Finally,
thank you. Well, I've got it on a 3-month free subscription because I'm really cheap.
Right.
So
Which is your favorite princess?
Merida.
No joke. It is a lot of fun going down to the Disney Channel.
I was
options.
crushing. Yeah,
Matt,
I'm going.
Watch WandaVision. It's so good.
So that's next. So we're still
You'll
finishing.
love it. You will love it.
We're still finishing Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
Jen said she's in on the Marvel series stuff. So we're gonna do that. So I think we're gonna start with WandaVision and start going through all the series. I'm really excited, but that's next. So we've only got a couple more episodes of Handmaid's Tale left, but I'm doing the old school stuff. So I watched Remember the Titans, and
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Right? It's amazing. I watched Heavyweights with my kids. Right? I'm loving it. I'm right up my alley. I'm watching all these old school stuff. We were watching Tailspin the other day. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Actually, we just started watching Animaniacs. That's not Disney, but talk
so
about
good. Warner Brothers,
the Animaniacs, but the reboot, which is amazing. Like
I haven't seen it.
They haven't skipped a beat. It's as good as the original. It's so good.
And Chad, you'd be proud of me. I'm not a fan. I'll say that, but I respect it. I've started into Mandalorian. So
it is.
I'm almost. I don't even know if I'm almost done. I'm about halfway through season 1. I didn't realize it was so much about Baby Yoda, and he's pretty cool to watch. And
Baby Yoda's life. So
yeah. So I am going through that. I wouldn't say I'm super excited about it, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm going through it, and I'm giving. I think it's the same way I've always felt with Star Wars. People go crazy about it. I'm not one of those people haters.
I know. I definitely Star Wars guys.
Guy's got a helmet on. I love it.
Okay, Matt, get a screen
Star Wars guys.
Get the screen. Wait, leave it. Matt's got to get his screen cap.
All right, hopefully I got it.
All right, excellent.
But yeah, aside from that, I've been binge watching some stuff, same old shit. We had another surgical appointment with my dog, just kind of better understanding next steps and lining up when he's going to go for surgery. So that's still sort of wait and see. So that's not great. My son's better. That's been fun. Okay. And then actually, I would say the one highlight is we're doing this whole thing at work now. You're probably aware of this. There's this big job architecture thing, realignment stuff. So some of the news came through for myself, and it's quite positive, and I'm quite happy about that. So everyone's getting this new. Essentially, in the end, I end up with a bit of a promotion that'll take effect middle of August, and I'm pretty excited about it because it was something that had been talks for a while. And I passed up on a position last year at a higher role because I knew it wouldn't be something I was excited about, even though it would have been more money and different responsibility, because I knew my skills and my passions were better suited what I do. So I stayed with some hope that my job would grow, and it has. So it was nice to see that come to fruition, and good days ahead from that standpoint. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. Job's doing well, and I keep pushing forward on that one.
It's always a risk when you turn down a promotion, but when it works out, it's great.
Well, and again, I'd done that before, not turned down. I say I went down a path, a role in the past where I knew I wouldn't be happy. I took it, and I wasn't happy. And sometimes it's a hard decision to make, but when you find something you love, which I actually genuinely love what I do right now, I'm making a real impact. I'm getting a lot of influence and being part of really cool things in our company. It's hard to step away from it. And there was some temptation through that situation, but at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I have to stay here because I know for myself, I'm going to feel better about it. And I'm glad that it's paid off. And it's a good feeling. So It worked out.
Nice.
All right. Tanya, how was your week?
My week is still the same as last week.
Hasn't changed much.
Nothing really much has changed. So work is still work. The house, you know what? Things are improving because our numbers are good, and we started opening up our kids to seeing their friends and having play dates, and so it's been really nice.
It's been so good
to see, and it's one of those bittersweet things, like telling our daughter that she can have a play date, and she's like them inside, and we're like, yeah, they're gonna come inside. She's like, with a mask on, and I'm like, no mask on. She's like, can I touch them? And I'm like, yeah, you can touch them,
just not inappropriately,
right? It's like, do we need to go that far? No, but it's been really fantastic seeing them really take on and enjoy life the way it should be, and having play dates and friends, and so that's been exciting and fun. My funny story is that tonight I got full out high-fived, smacked in the face by our 7-year-old. So I have this little thing where I say, okay, go to sleep, and then I tap them on the forehead, and I say, okay, sleepy stick has hit you, go to sleep. And so she's like, I'm going to hit you with the sleepy stick. And so she full out has no control over how hard she's hitting. And thankfully I had my glasses off, because she came at me full force and smacked me on the forehead. I'm surprised I don't have a 7-year-old's handprint on my forehead. Oh. And she got the palm of her hand onto my nose. And I'm like, oh, great. Now I'm going to have black eyes. And I'm like holding onto my face, and the sound of the smack when actually she made contact. She's like, I am so sorry. I'm like, please. You do not know your own strength, and you need to harness yourself a little bit there.
Yeah, in her defense, the room must have been dark, and she probably didn't.
Oh, but she wound up.
So
I think
it's called a sleepy stick, and you hit someone with it, and they go to sleep.
It's just
is this a Portuguese thing, Al? That you
no, I'm not sure. This is.
I think it's called a blackjack in other.
It's just you tap them on the forehead. You go sleepy stick. Good night.
Yeah, tap them. That's
whatever.
I've never heard of that. I'm sorry.
All right. My week. Pretty much standard. I didn't watch the soccer on the weekend. I was, again, since the pandemic started, I haven't been really following much of sports of anything, which is weird because I used to be such a big follower of sports. But anyway, work's been great. Today, we had some extreme weather come through the area, and just about half an hour north of here, a tornado hit down and actually went literally through my brother's neighborhood, just in Southeast Barrie. When my phone all afternoon was going off with extreme weather alerts, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like it was windy here, but where we are, the worst we'll get is a thunderstorm. But when I saw news that something actually touched down, and then when they said where it was, I'm like, oh shit, that's where my brother is. And I actually texted him, are you guys okay? Thankfully, about half an hour later, he responded, say, yeah, we're fine. Our house is okay. There's a bunch of debris. But some of my neighbors, just like a few houses down, like roofs were torn off. There's quite a bit of damage in his area, and he'd lost power and stuff. But thankfully, the family is fine, is safe. And as far as I think there were a few injuries, but nothing too severe. So thankfully, it could have been much worse.
Crazy videos coming out,
and it's crazy because I know these things happen all over, especially like in the southern states. Like this is very common. For us, it's not.
No,
so
it's not
when it happens, it's quite a big story here. And some of the damage was really. They were identifying as significant, and you could see the footage. But it was interesting. So I was driving with my middle son. Shortly after, or right around the time this was happening, and a big emergency alert came through the radio. It showed he was all confused, and then it was funny because he's 8 years old and he heard tornado. He goes, "You know what, Dad? I really want to see a tornado." And then he stopped. He goes, "But I don't." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I know they're really dangerous, and I think it'd be cool to see, but I also don't want anything to happen." And I'm like, it was kind of, and I actually kind of hear what he's saying. And again, not downplay, it's horrible. Like some of the things that happen in these houses, these people have to go through is awful. but there is this general curiosity. It's Mother Nature. It's so amazing and wild.
Oh, I'd be a storm chaser for sure.
Yeah, it would be. I've always said, I'd love to stand in a hurricane and see a volcano erupt or sit in front of a tornado. These are all horrible things that have very real consequences, but there's a curiosity behind that as well.
It's the power and the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my old college teachers, he actually ended up on that show Storm Chasers. He was one of the main guys on Storm Chasers. Nice. So yeah. And I had no idea. When I saw him, I was like, is that George? Oh my God, it's George. Like, I didn't know he was into that. He was a hell of a bass player and a musician. I didn't know he had this background and passion for chasing after storms.
I'm the same as you, Matt. We were in Jamaica when Hurricane Sandy hit.
Oh man.
And we were the first island to get hit by it. And I was the same thing. I'm like, can I just sneak outside? Like, I just want to feel the energy off of it. I'm like, it was just incredible how powerful those winds can get.
I don't ever wish any harm upon anyone or damage to people, but I just, you're right. The energy and like the craziness of Mother Nature. I just want to be able to see that up close.
It's
crazy and it's
so
say,
powerful.
You get a lot of natural disasters in Minnesota there, Chad?
Not really, no.
I have a story about Minnesota.
It's South Ontario.
I mean, minus like blizzards and shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same as you guys.
So
the body Ventura was a natural disaster.
I went to Minnesota and I remember coming into the airport and seeing the first thing I saw when I came into the building was the bathroom. And then there was this strange sign that I've never seen anywhere. And it was a hurricane shelter. Like, this is your hurricane shelter if there's a hurricane. And I'm like, where did I just land?
What?
Like, why is there a sign dedicated for hurricane information? I'm like, is that happening here? Like on a regular basis that we need a sign for it?
That's hilarious.
I could not believe. I'm like, yeah. So I thought you guys had quite a few of them.
Anyway, and
it's the same climate as you guys.
Yeah, we're pretty much.
So too, yeah.
You're South Ontario.
Yeah, South Ontario, near the lakes.
Yeah, southern Canada. So
northern southern.
The only other notable piece of news for this week, actually, tomorrow will mark 1 year from our first episode being published. So happy anniversary, Victor, Matt, Tanya.
Welcome to the anniversary show, Chad, where we have the longest cold open in Protestant history.
We needed to do shots tonight. We needed to do the tap.
Oh yeah, we
take a shot.
Yeah. So cheers, guys. Cheers.
We missed
to a
it
year.
Yes.
Who knew this was going to last a year? That's crazy. We went. We defied the odds there.
It's true.
Chad, how was your week?
It was a good week. Yeah. Let's see. Monday, for this like first part of the week, it just like dragged on for me. Like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was just like, it's fucking noon. Like I just want to go home already. Then it was one of those weeks, and then just today, I don't know why, just like was in like kind of a super good mood. Must have slept right last night, so I was just like super happy, jamming out with music.
You were coming to the Protestant.
That too.
Yeah,
that too.
Well, Chad, let's get trashed tonight, then, buddy.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, before we get trash, we should get nice and wide awake. So why don't we have some?
I'm not done yet.
You're not done.
Jeez,
everybody else.
He's like really pushing things, isn't he? There.
Al really does this to me every time I come on. I'll like say something and then I'll like pause. And then he'll just move on. And I'm like, I'm not done yet.
All right. And confirm. You have to like drag out a note in between your talk.
Yeah, you
like,
need to put up.
You have to do like in Letterkenny. You got to go.
I pause for effect though. So,
I pause for effect.
Sorry.
You need to put the sign up.
Someone mentioned that long cold open and ours is going pretty long. But Chad, finish your week. No.
I'm gonna.
No, please. You're the guest. You
Chad, next time you pause,
yellow
just
card.
let me know and I'll
I just got a yellow card from Matt.
I'll play a little interlude between your pauses.
Okay.
Alan's soon going to be the tit.
Go ahead. Yeah. And call me.
And then, so then yesterday I was producing my Star Wars show that I produce every once in a while. And we talked about the prequel trailers and that was pretty good. Check that out on YouTube at Star Wars Culture. We had a fun time.
I caught some of that. It was great, and you're wearing your helmet then, and
you may have checked can check me wearing my helmet.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, if
I'm not gonna put it on.
if you are a Star Wars fan, this is a good. Would you call? Is this a podcast or a webcast? What would you call it?
Yes.
Yes.
The best
All
answer.
of the above.
All of the above.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it does come out in audio,
Mhm.
and then we do like the live show. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's
And
one
I
of-
noticed you have a panel of 5, so yourself included, and there's somebody there from Toronto. You want to maybe shout out your panelists or your co-hosts?
Oh yeah. My buddy Jordan, he's a good guy. He's
Real good guy.
cosplayer down. Yeah, real good guy. And we got my friend Hannah from down under. So and she's fun. Always has a blast. My buddy Nick, who also produces the show with me. We do the weird pop-ups and like play the videos and stuff. And then another guy that I'll be producing his show when he goes onto YouTube. My buddy Dominic from Star Wars Underworld. He's from Toronto. So
Yeah, and it's a very slick looking production. So kudos to you guys. It looks great, and you guys sound good. So again, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's worth checking out. Where can you guys be found online?
You can find us on the Twitters at Star Wars Culture with a Z at the end of Wars. So Star Wars Culture.
Awesome.
I pretty much retweet them all the time. So yeah, and then then tonight has highlighted. Actually, the highlight of my week was definitely the helmet, though. So this takes close second, guys.
Yeah, all good.
That's
all
fair.
good.
We'll accept that.
We'll take second place after a helmet. Are we good for coffee?
Yeah. I'm done. Now you can continue.
Who wants a coffee?
Can we move on now?
Tanya, would you like a coffee?
Yes.
Victor, would you like a coffee?
I'd have a coffee.
Matt, would you like a coffee?
I'm surprised we're not having coffee right now.
Well, that's good because the produce stand is serving Diabolical coffee. It's devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. If you're a coffee lover, regardless of your taste or preference, they have an option for you. Whole bean, coarse, and standard grind espresso. They even have a K-cup option. And now for the entirety of season 7, you can use the promo code ProduceStan for 10% off any coffee or merch purchased at diabolicalcoffee.com. So please support us by supporting them. Thank you to Diabolical Coffee and to Eric for your support this season. By the way, our buddy Mike Loranger, he's already reordering another couple of pounds of Diabolical Coffee. He can't get enough of this stuff, so he's
mine arrived this week. I was quite happy.
Yeah, it did take a while to cross the border. I remember ours took a little bit of time to clear customs, unfortunately.
I just got my Produce Stand shirt.
Oh,
I just ordered it. I haven't gotten it yet, so hopefully it comes in next week. So
okay, well, we expect to see a tweet of you.
You're still repping the plaid though, so
exactly.
That's okay.
Yeah, still wearing the Keswick dinner jacket.
Gotta not break tradition, all right?
Yeah. Speaking of support, welcome to 19 new Twitter followers. Welcome to Michael Sawyer, Jason Baraba from Capitola, California, hashtag LFGM from Hudson Falls, New York, pixelforgers.com from Dallas, Fort Worth, Miss Goddess, Markery, Disputed Podcast. That's Dean Giles' new podcast that soon enough, I think Matt and I are going to be on. We're going to debate who would win in a fight, I believe. Is that what we're doing? We're
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So I think it's between who would win in a fight between Wayne and Shorzy. So we're going to
I was given very little detail. All I was told was Al chose Wayne, so I guess you get Shorzy. But if you're not comfortable with that, he's willing to trade. I'm like, no, I'll take sloppy seconds. Don't worry.
Well, I told Dean I'll take whoever, but if you give me the choice, I'll take Wayne. So there you go. So that's going to happen soon. Brand new podcast hasn't started yet, but it's called Disputed Podcast. So keep your eyes pierced for that. In fact, they already have a Twitter handle, so you might as well go and follow it so that you know when the first episode comes out. Joss Muridu from Barnsley, England. Stephen Laflamme from Ottawa. David Cobb from Georgia, Mindy, Seth Rosen, Just Jimmy from his iPhone, Heather Helton, Rachel V42711 from Bridgeport, Connecticut, Ian Sapp, Dennis Sweeney from Great Falls, Montana, Daco Zombie, and the Cabinet of Dr. Mystery. Thank you all for following and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed the first episode of Season 7, Crack an Egg. That episode received a fresh rating from Matt, a clearance from Adrian and myself, and a compost from Tanya and Victor. According to our scientific Twitter poll, 60.9% of you agreed with Matt that it was a fresh, while 39.1% gave it a clearance. No composts were given. This week, we recap and review episode 2 of Season 7, Red Card, Yellow Card. Have you done your homework, Victor?
I have.
Matt, have you done your homework?
Just under the wire.
Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes.
I did my homework. Chad, have you done your homework?
Same man.
So it's fresh in your minds. Excellent.
Sure, we'll go.
Get to the chorus.
So we open with a cold open, and it's just another episode of Crack an Egg. This time, the Hicks are drinking beer.
Oh yeah, you might notice that we got beers this time. I guess Katie got an email from one of you saying that. Well,
It wasn't an email, it was a DM.
It's DM.
Dick move?
By municipalities?
I just mean a DMT, like fucking Joe Rogan.
A DM is a direct message.
I never heard that.
Who been sliding in your DMs?
Dudes.
I've been sliding. Why don't you hit me back?
I've been sliding. Why you hit me back? Well, I guess Katie got DMT'd by one of you saying that, well, you just like the show because it makes you feel like you're just like the fourth person sitting around with us gabbing. So I figured if we're just sitting around gabbing, we may as well have beers.
Katie suggests they take a call, and really nothing has improved since their previous episode. Wayne is still surprised to have a caller. They go through the usual exercise to establish whether the caller can even hear them. Squirrely Dan is still looking around, wondering where the voice is coming from, and Katie's letting them know that they don't need to yell. The first caller is Gray Daniels. His issue is he's bagging firewood, and one of his workers is being a tit. The Hicks ask him who the tit is. First, Gray Daniels doesn't want to tell tales out of school since bad gas travels fast in a small town. But after prodding by Squirrely Dan, he gives up the name
Dalton Thibodeau.
Oh, fuck. His old man's a fucking tit, too.
Why?
He got a fucking impaired taking his kid to soccer practice 2 summers ago.
Oh, lordy, that's a D-Gens move. Figure it out.
Yeah.
I seen Dalton chain up a sick cow and drag it across the lawn because it was too sick to stand.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Cox. Fucking fuck you, Thibodeau.
Yeah, figure it out.
That's what I said. Figure it out.
He said figure it out.
Figure it out for you.
The Hicks have some questions about Gray Daniels' operation.
So we bag the firewood, drop it on a skid, 60 bags per skid. Then forks come in and take it over to a container.
Oh, I fucking hate skids.
What kind of container?
Like a train car.
One of those ocean freight liners there.
Oh, like when hippies make small houses.
Forks come in and take the skids with a couple bags to the container. Then Thibodeau and a couple others hand bomb them in there.
Why are you double handling?
You're going to want to watch your carbon footprint, too.
Well, you hand bomb the bags onto the skid, and the forks come over, take the skid over to the container. Just skip the fucking skid, hand bomb the bags straight onto the container. What's the problem?
It gets too hot inside the container to be going in and out all day.
Well, sounds like your old man should have kicked your ass another time or two.
Oh, this isn't from me. That's direct from Boss Hog.
Wow, that's fucking soft.
Gray Daniels goes on to talk about how Thibodeau isn't pulling his weight at work. He's working a third the speed as everyone else. Wayne suggests Gray Daniel give him the size 9s. Gray Daniel says, you can't do that anymore. All the kids will complain about that stuff due to anxiety, depression, and autism. Squirrely Dan throws in his 2 cents.
Listen, there is always an alternative to violence. On that, I would like to be crystal clear. Except if you're working fucking labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could be making sandwiches or fucking scooping ice cream. You could
be doing anything.
You could be doing just about fucking anything. You chose labor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was your choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't be fucking choosing labor and then slowing up production.
No.
They call that bullying now.
Well,
it's not bullying. It's tough love. There's a fucking difference. Don't open your mouth if you're going to be fucking stupid, Gray Daniels.
Yeah, the older kids gave it to us when we were young, too. That's why we didn't turn out tits like Thibodeau.
Yeah, but don't, give up on him either, right? It's kind of the whole point of the thing. You keep your foot in it, and if he wants to fuck dog, make life hard for him. So either stop fucking dog or he'll quit.
Sounds like a win-win.
No, that's exactly what it is, Gray Daniels.
Gray Daniels thanks the Hicks for the advice and hangs up. And then it's time for the next caller.
We have Dalton Thibodeau on the line.
Is he really? Well, Thibodeau.
I'm here to talk Gray Daniels, tell tales out of school.
I never told you to fucking you chained up another fucking cow.
And we cue the theme. All right, that's the cold open. That was a long cold open. Victor, what did you think of this cold open?
So that's 2 episodes in a row without a cold open.
This was a cold open. What are you
It was
talking
not
about?
a cold open. It was just it was a regular scene because after it's just because a cold open is either a complete separate vignette or ties in some small way back to the episode. This was an actual scene that had a bit of a break and then continued that same scene right after the break. This was not a cold open, my friend.
Okay, semantics. Cold open is...
No, it's not semantics.
Cold
That's
open
not semantics.
is a scene that starts before the credits. That's all that it means. It opens cold. The episode opens cold.
And the scene so far in none of the other previous episodes has ever directly continued.
But it's still a cold open. It's still a cold open. Anyway, what did you think of it?
You can call it whatever the hell you want, but it was not a cold open.
What did you think of this scene that opened coldly before the credits? Go.
Yes, I thought the scene was good. It had lots of great parts. It had all of that same awesomeness that we got in the previous. The one thing that we all agreed that we enjoyed in the previous episode. It had that. I just felt that whole conversation, it dragged on. Both myself and Linda were at one point, especially when they were getting into the minutia of the whole process of moving, like we were struggling. Are we understanding everything they're saying? Are we getting the slang? Are we missing anything? Do we know who Thibodeau is? And are we understanding what all this anger is about? And yes, the answer is yes. We got it. We didn't have to take a doctorate to get through it, but it was a bit of a struggle just because of how long it was, and tedious it was at times. But it was a good scene overall.
Okay, Matt.
I'm going to give you guys both points. A cold open is a narrative technique used in television and films. It is a practice of jumping directly into a story at the beginning of the show before the time. Hold on. It's my turn to speak.
Oh, he going to get a red card.
Or opening credits are shown. So, technically speaking, Al is right. This was a cold open. But I understand.
It's clinical.
It's semantics. And I understand where Victor's coming from because I agree. It didn't feel like when we say cold open, we're expecting this randomness, not related to the story, fun open. This is Letterkenny feel. They didn't do that. So you both get points.
In the Letterkenny universe,
it is not a cold open.
Not a cold open.
Yeah, so I will give you that. So that's why I need to set the stage straight. I loved it. I thought it was great. I still can't get enough of them sitting in front of the cameras and trying to navigate the world of television. Like every time someone's on the phone, is it really? Yeah. Like I love it. That just kills me. And then they have this whole banter. It's so much fun. I thought the story was great. I got the whole story with Buddy on the phone there made me laugh because it touched when he talked about unloading the trailers. I actually used to do this. I worked warehousing years ago, and there's actually more than what just Wayne was talking about in terms of, skip the step, put on the skid. So there's a couple of ways of thinking. If you think of logistics, you put it on the skid because it's easier to move around. You're usually surrounded, shrink wrap them up, and they sit nicely. You can pull them off with a forklift. But if you're sending things far, often they avoid the skid altogether so they can ram more shit into the container to send more product in one container, say overseas. So we used to get container loads full of 50-pound bags of peanuts arrive at the warehouse. I would get
nuts, right?
Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Yeah,
okay.
peanuts. Yeah.
All right, just want to make sure.
And and they
I didn't want Tanya to get excited.
You got some deep going on there.
It's all good. And there'd be no skids, just literally ram to the tits on this thing, and we'd have to lump. It was called lumping, as the term to remove them manually. We would lump them off onto skids and then put them away in the warehouse. So we'd spend a whole day just moving these damn bags out of this container for space saving. But it's
and I'm sure it was hot in there.
It was. It actually it was. So I know that was kind of off. Sorry?
Were they roasted nuts then?
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Where's Adrian when you need his strong side?
I had to. I was waiting for it.
This is a serious show. This is a serious show, Tanya.
You are spare parts, aren't you, bud?
Okay, Tanya, what did you think of the cold open?
I agree with Victor. I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, that just continued going and going and going, and was completely the show. It didn't feel like a cold open at all. Not their normal cold open.
Did you enjoy it?
But yeah, I finally got a chance to see Squirrely Dan looking around, trying to find where the voice was coming from. I thought it was comical. Here they are on, like, for everyone to hear and listen and be a part of, and the television show. And they're talking and how they always go on about bad gas travels fast, and they're on the television talking about people and being tits and not working and how to get them to work and like pretty much trashing them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was, I'm like, they do realize everybody can hear them, right?
Well, they're treating the callers like as if they just approached them at the produce stand. They're doing exactly the same thing they do if somebody came up to the produce stand and asked for advice there. So they're not aware, self-aware of what's actually going on. And also Wayne doesn't care because he said himself, if he's going to badmouth you, he's going to badmouth you to your face. So when Thibodeau does call back, he's like, well, yeah, that's what I said. So now I'm going to back it up by, telling you to fuck off even more. But yeah, it was, is that all you had for that?
Yeah. Are you worried about getting a red card tonight?
I am worried. I got a yellow so early in the game here.
I don't have any red cards, so you're good.
Just stand up.
My end.
Yeah, I agree. The scene had lots of the stuff that we loved from the similar scene from before. So my only complaint there might be that they just kind of rehashed the same thing. But it also had one of my favorite lines there when they were talking about the containers, and when Squirrely Dan says, "Oh, the hippies make small homes out of them." It was fucking hilarious. I love that line. It's so funny. Yeah, the whole thing was amusing and a solid cold open, and it was a cold open. Chad.
It was not a cold open.
Oh, come on. Where's my yellow
3
card?
against 2.
Is this going to be the poll for? Oh no, that's a blue spatula.
Oh, what does that mean? That's dark.
I don't know.
That's just rude, Victor, to pull the blue spoon out.
Victor just flashed the blue spatula.
This is going to be a Twitter poll. I feel like.
Yeah.
Was that a cold opening? Because it wasn't a cold open. It was just like, hey, we're just
I
going
thought
in
I
the
set
first
this
scene.
clear. It's technically
it is a cold
cold.
Yeah.
But in Letterkenny lore would say this is not.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Fair enough. Fair. I really enjoyed it. And when they were talking about the beers and like how it felt like there was a fourth one joining us, I can relate to this podcast.
Oh,
to this podcast. And when it was just the 4 of you guys, even with guests, just feels like you're just you're gabbing with your friends.
We are, and we're drinking beer. Yeah, we're drinking a puppers.
We're drinking beers.
Yeah,
I don't have a puppers, but
sorry.
But
you have a horn.
I do.
We don't have a horn.
I do have a drinking horn.
I don't want to move on until you tell me give me a nod if you're done.
No.
Blink twice.
You're gun shy now, aren't you?
I am. I'm so shy.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun one. The Squirrely Dan's always fun. And then them just trying to be like super like, oh, really? Can they hear me? It was a good one. I like that. You can continue now, Al.
Bad hosting, Al.
All right, coming out of the theme, scene 1. The Hicks are still yelling at Thibodeau.
Tippy toe.
Katie interrupts their ranting to inform them that Thibodeau hung up. The Hicks are happy to end the call and begin to leave, but they still have time for another caller. The next caller is Ken Donkersgood, who the Hicks all agree is a really good guy. Donkersgood just calls Sass the Hicks' opinion on soccer. He leaves the Hicks wondering if he called to the right show. Derry gives his opinion that he doesn't have much time for a sport that doesn't have a lot of contact involved. They end the call, and Wayne reminds the viewers that the show is for agriculture-related questions. The show ends, and Katie comments that there were a baker's dozen callers that they never got to. Squirrely Dan suggests that maybe next time they weeds out the callers that don't want to talk about agricultural issues. This suggestion gets a get off my dick from Katie. Derry remarks that it's too bad people have to wait a whole week to figure out the real problems. That gives Wayne a thought. He thinks soccer has a pretty good thing going with the card system.
Now, how handy would that be if it was real life?
Well, no doubt that'd be handy.
Be handy Newton.
Be handy Koufax.
Be handy Alomar Jr.
Be Macho Man Handy Savage.
It's like we can weed out the tits and give us more time for real people. It's problems.
Well, yeah, and then we wouldn't have to deal with the tits.
Yeah. So if he gets a yellow card, it means stops being a dinks. And if he keeps being a dinks, he gets a red card, which means you're out, you tit.
Bingo.
Tits out 2018.
It's not 2018.
Fucks out solid system, eh? Like if you give you a red card, means you can't call in, clog up the phone lines, give us more time for other people with some problems.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long for somebody to start being obnoxious.
Well, if we're going to be efficient.
Well, if you be one thing, you should be efficient.
We should start with people we know ain't going to take too long.
I know where we should look.
Cut to the Hicks at the gym talking to Riley and Jonesy. They ask what the hockey players have been up to. They've been skipping leg day, which is still apparently a thing. They're suffering, but they no longer want to suffer in silence, so they've started a program to help folks who are chronic leg day skippers find each other. The program is called Leg Day Bay. This immediately gets a yellow card from Wayne. Then Riley and Jonesy plead for a chance to make their pitch, so Wayne reluctantly agrees.
So, those looking to learn the Leg Day Bay way must fill out this Leg Day Bay survey.
We put all the names on a Leg Day Bay tray and select them randomly, and boom, match you with your future Leg Day Bay.
Still not working? Then Leg Day Bay Pay may just be the way.
It's our premium service, boys.
With Leg Day Bay Pay, you skip the Leg Day Bay tray, and you select your own Leg Day Bay from this Leg Day Bay display.
Liquid crystal display, LCD. Only the best for our users of the Leg Day Bay Pay.
Select your Leg Day Bay, crush legs, and maybe take them down after.
Can almost guarantee takedowns for our premium Leg Day Bay Pay members.
Wayne gives Riley and Jonesy a red card, and the two hockey players proceed to act out as if they were actual soccer players, complaining to the referee after getting a red card. The Hicks are just about to leave, but then Ron and Dax walk up. There's more to the program, a companion program for gays called Gay Leg Day Bay. This draws a yellow card immediately from Wayne, but they continue.
You're familiar with Leg Day Bay? And Leg Day Bay Pay? Well, this is Leg Day Bay. And Leg Day Bay Pay for gays. Let's smash some ass. Let's get so fucking gay. Interested in joining Gay Leg Day Bay? Fill out the Gay Leg Day Bay survey. Put your name in this Gay Leg Day Bay beret. We'll select names randomly, and boom, you've got your Gay Leg Day Bay. Or skip the Gay Leg Day Bay beret with Gay Leg Day Bay Pay, which allows users to select their own Gay Leg Day Bay. Likely take them down, too. We're anticipating significant gay takedowns for subscribers of Gay Leg Day Bay Pay. Let's get super fucking gay. Let's get some ass.
Also included is Gay Leg Day Bay Soiree, where they serve Cabernet, Chardonnay, Cafe au lait. You can become a Gay Leg Day Bay divorcee, and they'll help you find a Gay Leg Day Bay fiancé or have a Gay Leg Day Bay three-way. They also have plans to go international with Leg Day Bay, Uruguay, Mandalay, and USA. Anyway, when their pitch ends, Wayne produces a red card, and all four of them throw tantrums like soccer players do. The Hicks move on to their next subjects. Scene 3, the Hicks arrive at the Skids' lair. The Skids are starting a band. Squirrely Dan asks what they sound like.
No one! If you sound like someone else, you fucking suck!
Hoobastank and Incubus might be the exceptions there.
Would you believe I seen Hoobastank open for 311 at Detroit State Theater?
Are you serious?
Well, I don't give a shit.
Ever heard of Mastercraft? Or like Mastercraft, sprinkle a bit of Gold Panda. Sprinkle a bit of the Phantom's Revenge. Sprinkle a bit of Rusty.
Rusty, like the top-selling Canadian punk band of all time behind Sum 41 Rusties?
No, Rusty, video game influenced Scottish laser hip-hop electronic producer, R-U-S-T-I-E, Rust.
Oh, because if it was the Canadian Rusty, I'd be listening to it.
Groovy Dead was a pretty good track.
Production note there, Groovy Dead by the Canadian band Rusty is the song they use at the end of this episode, and you may hear it later on in our podcast as well. Squirrely Dan comments that it's nice to see the Skids focus on something besides their chemical romance. Katie asks them what they're calling the band. The band's name is The Hottest Sex Imaginable. This gets a yellow card.
This is my house.
It's your mom's house.
If you serve me a red card, you may not ask me to vacate.
We'll let ourselves out.
Think about it. The hottest sex imaginable with special guests, the Chemical Brothers.
The hottest sex imaginable with special guest, The Prodigy.
Hot fire hit of the summer. The hottest sex imaginable featuring Daft Punk and For Real.
The hottest sex imaginable featuring Susan Sarandon.
Wayne gives them a red card, and they act out like soccer players do. Stewart pretends that his leg is injured, and yeah, it's pretty funny. Scene 4. Next stop is the church and Glenn. Glenn greets the Hicks and then laughs at the way they talk, saying it's a gold mine. Glenn thinks the Hicks talk funny. This gets a yellow card. Glenn thinks that the kids just love their saucy slogans and quirky quips, so he's designed some t-shirts with said slogans. The first one features Wayne's most famous expression, sort of.
Pitter patter, let's get going. Yeah. Airball.
Like this? Airball. Daniel, yours too. Get ready for it.
Apparently, swings and a miss.
You're welcome. I did not forget about you, Mr. Barrel. What about this? Take your time, read the whole thing. It's long.
When you love your job, it never seems like work. Strike 3.
Oh, and Katie, this one you have to send over to your ex-boyfriends Riley and Jonesy because it is
For the guys.
Because that's what they always say.
Rim and out.
Aren't you snotty today, Katie? A-ba-doom! Someone served this person a friggin' poppers. And this one's for all of you because you're always doing my chores.
And
you don't want to say yes. You want to maybe give it a hefty no thank you.
Oh, this is too easy.
Boy, howdy.
Wayne flashes a red card and they're off to their next stop. Scene 5 at McMurray's house, and McMurray is telling his usual tales of him and Mrs. McMurray down in Minnekin. He draws a quick yellow from Wayne, which he completely misinterprets. Then he goes on to talk about a business he started importing Arab fabrics called Arabric, and that's a red card. Scene 6 at Modine's 3. Gail immediately starts hitting on Wayne, drawing a nearly yellow. Then she shows off a new sign for the bar as the party. A new sign for the bar, part of her new marketing campaign. The sign reads Modine's Family Style Pub and Grill, Tap House, Eatery, Resort, and Casino. The red card gets flashed and Gail throws her usual tantrum. Scene 7. Back at the TV studio, the Hicks settle in for another episode of Crack an Egg. They reminisce of their productive day. They red carded at least a dozen teats, I think is what Derry says. The caller queue is now cleared of all teats, so they start the show and take their first call.
Okay, we got Gray Daniels on the line again.
Oh, Gray Daniels, put him through.
He can hear you.
Gray Daniels.
All right now.
Good news.
Not so bad.
Right on.
Right on. Right on.
Right on. Listen, I just wanted to call because I was feeling bad about telling tales out of school on Thibodeau.
Bad guy travels fast in the small towns, but if he's a tit, it's out there.
So they told me.
So what happened? Did you take our advice?
I did. Yeah, I did. I kept my foot in it and showed him a little tough love.
And
he came around, actually. Picked up the slack and isn't slowing down production anymore.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just calling you from the break room here, actually, and Thibodeau's here. He wants to say something to you, so I'll hand off the phone here. So, yeah, talk to you.
Yeah, talk to you.
Hey, now.
Thibodeau.
Not so bad.
Okay.
So, hey, Gray Daniels had the balls to say sorry for telling tales out of school, so do you too? Fuck you, Thibodeau!
And we fade to black. All right. That is the episode. Victor, let's talk about your initial thoughts.
So, are we going to sit here and pretend like any of that made any sense?
You tell us, Victor.
You get to lead the way.
Yeah,
Victor.
it's up to you.
So none of that made any sense.
Okay.
If the whole idea was to go and streamline the call queue and weed out all the tits, then okay, got it. Why are they interviewing the people that likely would not have been calling in the first place? Number one, but whatever, that's hearsay. But why were these guys pitching anything to the Hicks? Why were they pitching stuff? Did I miss some other storyline that was happening? Was there a contest going on? Were they judges for some show, for some other show that they're going to do? Was this like an Easter egg for a future show? Like, none of that made any sense as to why they were pitching. The skits themselves were funny. There was a lot of hilarity in a lot of that. Yeah. I'm just kind of sitting, what the hell is I had the Tanya face on. I
was backing you until that moment there. What the hell? How did I get thrown under the bus?
It's a call back to you to the previous episode. When you looked at Al, and you said, Al, what the fuck is going on? That was that was me thinking, looking at Linda, looking at each other. What just happened? What was happening right now? There, this quick second there, and it just didn't make any sense. So I'll hand it off to you guys. Maybe you can help me figure it out.
Matt.
So I will agree somewhat what he said. I will agree to the fact that I really wasn't sure what they were doing and why the whole pitch scenario was happening. I thought I missed something, and I was hoping through this I would catch something that I maybe missed.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen yet, and maybe it's still coming. So it felt like the Dragon's Den episode take 2.
Yep. Absolutely.
So 100% that's what I got the vibe of. But that said, there was some really good moments. It was a roller coaster episode. I'll say that. The cold open I loved. I thought it really made me laugh. The leg day bay scene, it was ridiculous, but I laughed so fucking hard.
I just love that Riley and Jonesy love their PowerPoint presentations. Like, this is the second time they bring out the PowerPoint.
God. But like, even from start to finish, even when Ron and Dax came in, like Jen and I were watching it and we were both giggling like idiots. Like I couldn't stop laughing. And it also felt very like it's like they couldn't get enough rhyming done in Great Day for Thunder Bay. So they extended it into this one and they just kept going, but it worked. And I laughed so hard through that scene, but all the others, the skid scene, I didn't like. The Glenn scene was good. There was some real good moments in there.
The Glenn scene was great. Yeah, I thought
it was fantastic.
Awesome.
I thought that was so good. And actually, it wasn't until we listened back now that I put together the Ferda one for the guys. I'm like, well, I was trying to put them in what they actually saying. That was the only one I got stuck on. But just listening back now, I'm like, oh, it's Ferda.
Yeah.
And then McMurray made me laugh. I mean, that was one of the best laughs I had was when they held out the red card for McMurray. He's like, I don't have it red. Like, or whatever he said, like that killed me. And
mauve or a chartreuse, or because he's big into like the
But he's like, I don't have red or whatever. So all in, there was some really good potential here, but I was like Victor confused on why this episode happened. I think
okay, 10.
All right. Not saying that I wasn't confused, because I was, but I kind of thought, okay, maybe this is like a commercial for the A-Call. I'm like, is that why they're going around? Like they're looking for advertising or like a commercial break or like I don't know. That's the only thing that I could link it to.
Based on what though?
Yeah, exactly. There's
based
no
on
setup.
Really nothing.
Like,
but
if they had done something,
public television.
If they had done something to set that up, then that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, for sure. In fact, all they had to do, was say,
because everybody was trying to like, oh, here's what I could, here's what I could do for you, sort of thing. And so I thought it was like a commercial component of the A-Call. So anyways, I thought it was that. I agree with Victor and with Matt. Good points. Like the skids, I didn't, the one that I really didn't like was when he started going on and on about his leg, like the ow, 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 ow. And I'm
he's acting like a soccer player who just got a red card.
I didn't catch that until you pointed it out.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely, I'm like, what the, like Charlie horse? Like what is happening right now?
Every time somebody got a red card, well, not every, because McMurray didn't even understand what the card was about, but all the other ones, once they got a red carded, they started acting out like soccer players do, like overacting and you know, being all,
I have to watch it again now, but I didn't put that theory or that's not theory, that thought together on the red card. So that's interesting.
That's what it is. They're acting it out like it was a soccer player just got a red card.
Yeah.
And
drama.
The great day for gay bay leg day, whatever. I want to know how many times they screwed that up. How many times did that take? And how many times did they
reading
start
it off the
laughing?
page and I screwed it up.
Or laughing at each other. Yeah, and breaking from the scene, because wow, that was a lot of tongue twisting, and they didn't miss a beat from what we see, right? From what was recorded.
I mean, if we ever get any of them on this show, we need to ask them about that scene, because I agree that one was so. It was like the ultimate tongue twister,
and the timing of it, right?
Oh, it was so on key. I loved it.
Yeah, that one was good. So that's my thoughts.
All right. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Victor in terms of why were people pitch. So the only one that made sense was the very first one, because if you think back to that scene, they're sitting in the gym and they're just chatting with Riley and Jonesy. Hey, what have you guys been up to? And Riley and Jonesy are like, oh, we're skipping leg day, blah. So they're just having a conversation, and then they say, oh, we came up with this program. Do you want to hear the pitch? So that one I understood, because they took you from, they're just having a chat to, we're going to pitch you this idea we have.
Airball.
No,
Airball.
No, hold on. Let me finish.
Screen ready to go.
No, but the screen may not have been there for the Hicks. It may have been there because they were pitching it to somebody else. What are we looking at? I can't see.
It's not coming through at all. It's not coming through at all.
You gotta turn down your brightness there, champ.
What's not coming through?
That? It's
Is that supposed to be a red card?
That's what it looks the same as the yellow card. I'm gonna
anyway. So but
digital.
Victor, like I said, I am agreeing with you, because I feel like they didn't set it up. Only that one there, you can kind of argue that it was kind of set up, but the others. So I think what they could have done is just during at the end of the taping of the Egg Hall, if they said, oh, we're going to go interview some potential sponsors, then everything else makes sense.
Yes.
Everything else falls in place.
Yeah, they needed a tie-in.
Because Matt, I love what you're saying. This was Uncle Eddie's Trust Part 2. I think they loved that format so much that last time, this was the perfect way to do it again, where they're pitching something to the Hicks and the Hicks are judging it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So if they had done that, this episode, I'm not going to give it a rating yet, but I would have enjoyed this episode so much more.
Yeah. It was funny. They just missed that tie-in to connect why it was happening. I think we all got lost in that.
Yeah. Chad, what did you think?
It's a funny comedy show.
Are you trying to tell us to relax?
Are we in TV again?
Figure it out, guys. Figure it out.
It's not supposed to make sense. They're just joking around. Come on. No, they're all the skits.
You're letting them off the hook too easy, my friend.
Yeah. You have. I know you listen to this podcast, so I know that. I know.
Wait, no, I don't listen. What?
And you're clearly a fan of the show. This is where we we allow ourselves to be a little bit critical.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We're geeking out on Letterkenny.
That's
just like I heard you geeking out on those Star Wars trailers yesterday.
True.
Come on,
that's true. That's true. The plot makes no fucking sense.
No, you're right.
There you go, buddy.
It's just like, why are we pitching dumb ideas?
Yeah.
Okay. I love Glenn. He's always the best. Apparently swinging a miss. Get this guy a puppers. Come on. That was so funny. I said that totally wrong though.
You glenned it.
Serve this guy friggin' puppers or something, or
yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. I know Adrian and I were going back and forth at those, and then I forgot about that one. But
you were probably having a puppers while you're doing it.
No, actually I wasn't. So no, it was a funny episode. It's kind of dumb and makes no fucking sense, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's. May I move on?
Oh,
blink twice.
Blink twice. Yeah. Victor, what rating do you give this episode?
Well, I said the rating is a clearance, and it's a clearance because there's a lot of laughter in this episode. There's just the whole leg skit was pretty funny. It was just completely ridiculous, but there was a lot of it, and just the kind of the tongue twister aerobics that they have to go through and actually got through those scenes. I don't know how many takes it took, but that was pretty crazy. And I love the Glenn scene. I thought it was brilliant. I just there's a lot of good stuff there, so you have to give it marks for that. But you can't give it a fresh just because I walked away just completely bewildered and confused as to what I was just watching. So for me, it's a clearance.
Okay, Matt, what do you give this one?
Yeah, I mean, in the weird occasion of the world, I agree with Victor. I mean, it's a clearance. It's an easy, and I'll say it's an easy clearance because there was a lot of great stuff. This had the potential to be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 episode had they pulled the story together. I go back. I love the open. I thought it was fantastic. the leg day scene was one of my favorites. I absolutely, and sometimes the rhyming stuff can get over the top. I loved that scene. I thought they delivered it so well. And then the Glenn scene was brilliant too. So there was some really good, strong elements here. But to Victor's point, the story didn't tie together. And I left. I was confused. And even to this moment, still a little bit confused on what was going on. So I can't possibly give it a fresh based on that confusion.
Okay. Tanya?
I wanted to add my Twitter poll request for this.
There's going to be a couple polls, I guess. What's yours?
Mine is tit. Who uses that? And where did it come from? But I just want to know.
Listable.
I like the tits out.
Tits out, sure. Tits up, tits out. You know,
yeah, doesn't Mrs. Marvelous Maisel say tits out when she gets
tits
on stage?
Out? Yeah, but calling somebody a tit when they're dumb, I'm not sure.
I think I've heard that before.
I've heard it.
I'll put it out there.
Yeah. I question that. I completely and utterly, strangely enough, agree with both gentlemen. It's a clearance. It didn't push it over the top to a fresh. It wasn't horrible. It had some great qualities to it, but it wasn't. It's exactly what the guys have said.
Okay. All right. I'm torn here because let's see. The cold open that you guys insist is not a cold open, but I think it's a cold open was strong. It was, it was just all the good stuff from the previous episode carried on. The leg day bay was funny. The Glenn part was funny. The McMurray part. So every individual element.
Not every.
Well, maybe with the exception of the skid scene, every other element was, you guys said, was funny. What part did you not enjoy other than the skid scene?
Well, no, I don't think the McMurray one was strong. I thought it had the one line he said made me laugh, but I wouldn't say it was very McMurray, but it was fun. It was quick.
Okay.
So it didn't give me enough to bite onto. And
but I mean,
it was just okay.
The Glenn, like the scenes that were strong were really, really fucking strong. So the only drawback, and I agree with you guys, to me, the only drawback is that connector of all the scenes, but the scenes in
it's important.
I understand, but it is one aspect. So I was like teetering between fresh and clearance. And I'm like,
why were you teetering?
Well, because I agree with you guys. The connective tissue. Which is the
connective tissue.
Exactly. The connective tissue. If you just spent an hour putting up a Christmas tree and you plug it in and it doesn't work because your freaking wire, you forgot to connect the wire, then what the hell's the point?
Wow.
Can't confirm.
What was in that coffee mug, Victor? Was it coffee?
Listen, and they've also and all that. So listen, I'm fully fighting with Victor here because.
This is weird.
I know.
I know. It's weird. Season 6, we talked about how they were really getting story heavy as well. And there really was a cohesive story. Whether you loved every episode or not, they went on. And even last up, there's a story continuation. This one, it just broke. I don't know what happened there. It doesn't make any sense. And and because we were getting used to that new style in the Letterkenny universe of we're telling a story now, I don't think they succeeded, and that's why I can't give it. Like I really enjoyed the scenes that were there independently. If they were like Letterkenny problem episodes on YouTube, they were fantastic. But there was gaps, and it confused me, and I can't push it over the top.
Is it possible that they edited out some very important scenes?
Yeah.
Because this is now 2 episodes in a row where I'm questioning the editing.
Yeah.
This is true. That's a good point.
It's 2 episodes in a row. You're right. Where had they just done one little thing, it would have actually made a huge difference for the rest of the episode. In the first one, it was if they had in that first scene in the kitchen, if they had alluded to who's coming to the stump burn tonight, just doing that would have tied the entire episode together, right? And in this episode again, had they at the end of recording the first egg,
yes,
crack an egg, if they had said, "Oh, we're going to go interview some potential sponsors," boom, this is an automatic fresh episode. So I agree with you guys. It's a clearance, so I'm giving it.
So is that a unicorn clearance? Is that how
I think so.
It's
we've never all agreed like that.
It's a Walmart unicorn, a clearance unicorn. So Chad, what? Now that we've all given it a clearance, the pressure's off. You can do whatever you want.
Sweet, thank you. It was totally. it was definitely a clearance. It was like a good bit. It was a good mid-grade episode. It made no sense, but it was still funny. I loved it.
Yeah,
I still laughed at all of them. I laughed at the skid one, the whole My Chemical Romance.
Yeah,
your chemical.
What is your
romance?
obsession with My Chemical Romance? Though, like, there's got to be something behind.
There's
the
a band.
scenes
It's a
there.
band called My Chemical.
I know that.
Oh.
I mean,
it's one of the biggest like emo type bands in the world.
Let me reiterate. I know who My Chemical Romance is.
It's a
what is their
like
obsession? They've referenced them multiple times.
They're druggies. They've got a chemical. They have a chemical romance
band.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to top
think
fives. I think this will be pretty quick. Does this make your top five, Victor?
It does not.
Matt?
Or no.
Tanya?
Nope.
No, it does not. Chad, have you given us your top five yet?
I don't know. I don't even know anymore. There's just so many episodes. It's hard to keep track on like which ones you guys seen already.
Right. All good.
Like
all good.
I don't know.
It requires
like
too much preparation. I understand.
Lace Hicks is still my favorite episode.
Oh well, there you go. So Lace Hicks is still number one.
There.
Let's see here. MVP. So we're not doing the Victor's MVP game is dead. It is dead.
No.
Long live Victor's MVP. But we are still going to give our MVPs. So
Nail in the coffin was last week. For sure.
Damn it, Victor.
Tanya,
you broke
Hold on,
the
Chad.
game.
Who did you think it was going to be? Just because you seem pretty.
It was going to be Glenn.
Well, we'll see.
It's never been a person, so you're wrong.
I feel like this time it was going to be Glenn.
Okay, well, hold on. We're still going to do MVPs. We're just not going to try to guess Victor's because that's just a fool's errand. So Victor,
it was a fun game.
What was your MVP for this episode?
Well, I think you tits would have guessed it this time.
Tits?
Yeah, not Chad because he already.
I know what it would have been. I'm just gonna write.
He already bombed out.
So you're playing it anyway. You're the one who killed it, and you're playing anyway.
Because it's like okay, there's so many.
She got all excited.
Bring
I know what
back.
it's going to be, and she writes it down.
Yeah.
Bring it
Yeah,
back.
Chad.
Bring it back.
I'm with you, Chad. I think it's fun.
It's a fun game.
It's unwinnable.
I think one of
That's
you.
the point.
I think one or more of you would have guessed it because I was rooting for the MVP in every single scene, in every single scene. So for me, the MVP was the red card.
Oh my God! All right, never mind. I take it back. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Keep playing this game. This is a fun game.
Matt,
It's unwinnable.
Tanya slammed her book down. She's changed her mind too.
What did she have?
What did you have?
Fuck off! I don't want to tell you.
You tried to really think outside the. You tried to rewrite the book today, didn't you?
It was the shirts, all the misspelled, all the.
Last week was plaid. It could have been the shirts. Anyway,
just
Matt.
I 100% didn't guess at all this time.
No,
I'm
that's
like, I'm tired of disappointment. But even mine was slightly on tone with Victor. I gave it to leg day because that was my favorite scene. That entire scene, start to finish, I laughed so fucking hard. So I gave it to leg day.
Nice.
Oh man, you guys. All right.
But that would make sense. It was a whole scene.
Okay, Tanya.
It wasn't an abstract anomaly.
As always, Glenn just makes me smile. I think he's lovely, and I loved his shirts. Maybe that's why I was so excited. I thought that Victor would have had shirts.
They should sell that series of shirts just as it's.
I'm sure they would. I mean, I bet you. Bet your friend Danny probably designed all of them.
That's super funny.
Apparently.
Apparently. All right. I give it to Glenn too. Squirrely Dan was a close second on the strength of that one line that he says at the beginning. The whole hippies make homes out of them about the shipping containers. But no, it was absolutely Glenn. The Glenn scene with the t-shirts was the
And
highlight.
his hat.
Yeah, and the hat. That was a highlight of this episode. Chad, who's your MVP?
Yeah, Glenn. It is Glenn. Glenn's so funny. Anytime he's on the screen, he's the MVP. So
yeah,
He really is. Love that character.
All right, we're gonna move on to last week's Twitter poll. It wasn't a Tanya's Twitter poll. It was the one I put up here. It was the question was in the last episode, Crack and Ag. While it was definitely Jared Kiso doing all the voices in the Collins segment for McMurray's Agriculture show, did you think it was meant to be Wayne asking those calls to get back at McMurray, or was it just other townsfolk? And the two options I gave were hard no and yes, even though it wasn't a yes and no question. Thanks, Austin, for pointing that out.
I thought the same thing.
But it's funny
Like
because
that is not a Tanya's Twitter poll. That's too wordy.
95 votes, and everyone else seemed to understand at least what I was getting at. And
95 votes.
I know, 72.6% said no, that was not Wayne.
Yeah.
And 27% said yes, it was Wayne. And
That's a pretty substantial amount.
Yeah, I know. It's
That's
crazy.
scientific.
This episode proved it wasn't Wayne though. So because
exactly.
It was voiced
That's a
by-
good point. That's a really good point.
What's his name?
And
So.
a couple of comments here. Hard no on both. It was Shorzy, and that's from our friend Crystal. She thought it was Shorzy doing all the calls. And Awesome had to put in her 5 cents. How in the fuck are we supposed to answer an either or question with yes or no? Thank you, Awesome.
Fucking awesome.
And that's what we appreciate about her.
Yeah, teaches me for doing a poll after we record, 4 beers in. And we have some listener comments too. Here's one at Produce Stand. I just started listening to your podcast. It is anything but 10 ply. That's from Brian Ruppel. Thank you so much, Brian, for listening and for the comment. At Produce Stand Pod, thanks for the follow. I am thrilled. Your podcast was mine and my husband's go-to for the 16.5 hour drive to Canada to finally see my parents and family after 17 months, and we can't wait to listen on the way back. Also, 100%.
Nice.
I know 100% bringing puppers back to Virginia, and that's from Miss Goddess. Thank you so much. What that one there?
Where is that one? Where's that one listed?
It's on Twitter. Yeah,
that's awesome.
They tweeted at us.
You.
So they were driving from Virginia to visit their parents in Canada, and they were listening to us the whole way.
That.
And yeah,
that is so awesome.
Awesome. Looks like Hulu got exclusive rights to Letterkenny in May 2019. So season 7 was the first show. It would have opened with the Hulu logo. That's from our buddy Adrian, who did our homework for us and did the research. So yes, so it's funny. So if this was the first one available on Hulu, so season 7 was the first Letterkenny season available for Americans to watch. I mean, I guess when they released season 7, they probably also released seasons 1 through 6, but if this is their first taste, it's kind of a dubious start, I think, for them. But anyway, hopefully, well, obviously many went back and watched the first 6 seasons as well. And then final comment here at Produce Stand Pod. I love this podcast so much, and I wish there were more episodes weekly, and that's what I appreciate about you. And that's from Savage Empire Pod. So thank you guys for the very, very kind comments, and yeah, it's been a great week for that. And anyway, we'll move on to final thoughts. Victor, what do you got for us?
Well, nice to hear that Thibodeau did not write in with any comments. So that was good. But Chad, thanks as always for coming out and bringing your energy. Some of it anyway, and sharing your lid with us. That was very, very cool. I'm sure Twitters are going to enjoy seeing that when Matt shares that with the community. And thanks for sharing your cat's butt with us. That's really cool. Yeah, so I thought this was a fun episode. I thought it was kind of ridiculous and hilarious all at the same time. still have no idea what the hell any of that was all about. And maybe thinking, and thank you for not giving it away for those that have watched ahead, hoping that this will somehow is an Easter egg that's going to get uncovered in maybe the next episode or something like that. So I'm hoping for that. And yeah, so there you go.
Okay, Matt, final comments?
Yeah, I mean, I love when you read the listener comments. They honestly and genuinely make me so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked when we first started this thing. I'm like, okay, this will be fun. We all love the show. Let's have a good time. But the fact, I mean, it's still so surreal to me that there's so many people that actually listen to us and enjoying. And thank you so much. Like, it honestly, and I hinted last week, and I've hinted the week before. There's definitely some shit going on, and I'm dealing with some hard time. I mean, at the end of the day, there are things that are way worse out there, but this is a hard time. This is such a high every week, and I love when we start. I don't even know how many seasons ago we started having a guest on every week. So, Chad, thank you for coming. We started off like, oh, let's invite someone out, and then it became a weekly thing. And it says now every week I'm like, hey, Al, who's joining us this week? And I'm genuinely excited to wonder who's going to come. And then I hear it's Chad. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. But no, but, I'm kidding, buddy. But
this was fun, guys.
But no, it's just like, I love it. I mean, you guys get excited about the community. I promise you, we are just as excited about the community. This has become something way more than I think any of us thought it would be. And it's so much fucking fun. And you guys are, and it really is driven around all of you who are listening in and joining in on our insanity every week. It's a blast. So thank you so fucking much. We're going to keep doing this as long as there's episodes and as long as we can come up with new ideas to extend it and whatever else happens. But this is a blast. So thank you.
Awesome. Couldn't have said it better. Tan?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Chad. Always a pleasure. It's fantastic hearing the responses from people, and it's still odd that people go out and listen, and that's fantastic. I think I'm just gonna stutter and
shall I save you?
Yeah, please do.
So yes, I mean, I just wanted to do a podcast. That's all I wanted to do. And I didn't care what it was about. And the fact that we landed on Letterkenny, the fact that it's that it became what it became, it kind of a fluke. And the fact that you guys, Victor and Matt and Tanya, agreed to do this with me, because I had no idea what it would turn into. And so it's been a year, and most podcasts don't go beyond the first month or two. Most podcasts don't last beyond 10 episodes. We're well over 50 episodes, tens of thousands of listens. I mean, it's incredible. It's surreal. And it's also been evolving. So Matt, I mean, you called it. Like, I feel like had we not started getting guests on, people might have gotten a little tired of us or a little bored of us. So bringing in the guests, bringing in the members of our community has added that color, right? So whenever we have Chad on, we know what it's going to be. Whenever we have Dennis on, we know what it's going to be. Whenever, you know what I mean? we know what kind of episode it's going to be a different flavor episode, because you guys bring your different characteristics. And so thank you. The community, amazing. Can't say enough. The fact that we have a sponsor, we're not making a ton of money at this, but somebody actually sees value in putting their name with us. And Eric's been amazing. Like, that was a fluke too. Everything's been kind of a fluke, but a happy coincidence, a happy fluke. And it couldn't have. I can't imagine it turning out better than it's been going. So,
and you know what though? Kudos to you, Al, because you are the one that that pulled this all together. You had the idea, you reached out to each one of us, and I thought you were crazy, but
I think you all did. Well, I was wondering too, but thank you for making it work.
I thought it was just a scam, a way to get me to watch the show with you.
It was,
how it starts.
And it's so, like, we were reminiscing today, because you were you had said that it's been 1 year, and like all that we've been through in the last year, and how our lives have changed.
Heavy year, yeah.
and how this has kind of spawned new and great things. Like when you strip away the COVID aspect of it, this has been life changing and for some good parts, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my new job and just spending more time with Victor, who left. We used to work together, and now we spend more time weekly than probably did when we worked together. Matt, even though we work in the same team or the same company, we're not on the same team. So just spending more time with you, spending this time childless, 1 hour, an hour and a half every week with Tanya. It's been a godsend. So yes,
it's been a way to keep our sanity and amongst all the insanity.
Yeah. If there was a stronger word than a stronger term than thank you, I'd use it. But unfortunately, that's all I got. Chad.
Well, Chad, before you give us a hot finish, I do want to say something important I take away from this episode is that I'm going to start bringing yellow and red cards to all my meetings now.
At work, your work meetings?
Yes.
I love it. Yes. That's a good idea.
So, and it's great because all the meetings are, over Teams and stuff like that. So you can just flash a yellow card when somebody's saying something stupid, and a red card if they go if they do it a second time.
That's
so I
forward to hearing how that goes.
Yeah, I will.
Victor may be looking for new employment soon. Yeah.
That's okay, but it's a good way to go out there. Anyway, on to you, my friend.
Chat.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me on. Congrats on the 1 year. So it's getting pretty awesome. I didn't start listening to October, but even still, I'm glad I found you guys and definitely made this crazy ass year and a half a whole lot better. And like I said on the group chat earlier, and I just appreciate the community that you built around us. We got 2 people already waiting for us.
Oh, in Discord? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's
Awesome and Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
No, actually, it looks like it's just Awesome and looks like Jack.
All right.
Melbourne's there.
All right. So he's still at work. So he's
must be.
Yeah.
Must be. But yeah, just thank you for just creating this community. Thank you for having me on. It's always a blast to listen to guys every week, and it's just congratulations again.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right, I'm going to play us off here with, as promised, the song Groovy Dead by the Canadian band Rusty. These guys were great in the 90s, and the album Fluke was one of the best early Canadian grunge albums in the 90s. So I know Victor loves grunge, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we will welcome new visitors to the Produce Stand, the hosts of Citizen's Guide to the Supernormal podcast, Sarge the Destroyer and Maynard. And yes, they are from
Massachusetts.
They're going to join the panel to help us recap and review episode 3 from season 7, Nuts. Don't forget to give our sponsor Diabolical Coffee some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com. Right now, you can use the promo code ProduceStand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at ProduceStandPod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to kick the ball around at the local football pitch. Tits out.
Soccer.
Except for Tanya. On behalf of Chad, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.